How do I fix Okay. The part of this gospel that most stuck out to me wasn't when Jesus understands the needs of the crowds or when he heals everybody equally. This part was important, and I'm sure I could speak on it. But what really stuck out to me was the very beginning, when the disciples ran to Jesus, telling them what they'd done and taught and all the great things they had accomplished. And he tells them to rest. Please will you pray with me? God, may the words of my mouth and the meditation of our hearts be acceptable to you, God, my rock and my redeemer. Amen. Now, I want to preface this by saying that wanting and needing attention and praise is normal. We've been socially conditioned to it, and it's part of our human nature to an extent. It feels really good to receive either, and it makes sense that we would need and want them. But there are definitely ways to take praise and attention too far, which I know from experience. I'm not going to go into all of the reasons that I have this reliance on other people's validation, and if I'm being completely honest, I don't know them either, but I consider myself enough fairly normally. The insecure preteen that was scared of rejection and hurt, which I'm sure most of you have been at some point. And then I just became really scared of being seen as anything less than perfectly neutral at the absolute worst. Then that neutrality became uncomfortable, and I started seeking out compliments more and more until it became an addiction. I would go and do things like public speaking so I could get attention, I'd get good grades, good debate, anything that I could get in a praise or award for it. I figured that this was okay because I was self-aware. I knew it was a problem. I remember one time a few months ago, we had like a standardized testing in my school, and afterwards we couldn't go on our phones or anything, so I took out the sociology book I'd gotten and started annotating it. My annotations were interesting. I liked what I was learning and reading. But the best part of that whole experience to me was when I went to my history teacher's classroom, and I told her, look at this great thing I did, look at what I annotated, look at how smart I am. I didn't literally say that, but like, that was the implication. And she was proud of me, and that was my favorite part of that whole thing. Not what I learned, not that I was bettering myself, but that I was bettering myself with someone. And needless to say, this creates a really weird dynamic between me and my work and any other people. The best way I can explain this is in the Bone special Inside. I don't know if you watched it, but it's really good. Anyway, there's this one song called Don't Wanna Know, and throughout the song, Ronan keeps asking all these really good questions about the special. Are people paying attention? Is it good? Is it paced well? Anything that he would really benefit from knowing. But he cuts himself off every single time before he gives an answer. He's so scared of the criticism that he can't take the possibility of praise. And this is a similar mindset that I'm in constantly, craving praise, but so scared of rejection that I don't know how to seek it. This love-hate relationship with feedback has just been embedded into me because I almost exclusively do things I think I'll succeed in anyway, because I'm scared of failure. But so I want to ask for praise and I want to ask for feedback so I can be the best version of myself. But I'm scared I'm not already that version, so I don't know how to be improved. And it's horrifying. And I don't like to admit this, honestly, because it's hard to face, and I think that, like, if I can just deal with it alone, it makes me more sympathetic. But it's something a lot of people deal with. It's a mindset that's really easy to get trapped into. Like I mentioned at the beginning, it's really easy to just be wanting praise and wanting attention. And that's generally fine. But because it's embedded in our society, and almost everything we do is an opportunity for attention. I remember one time my therapist asked me what I would do with myself getting praise from school. And I told her it wouldn't matter because I could get praise from my boss at my job, and then from my friends and family, and then I could retire and become one of those grandmas that bakes and knits sweaters and be the best cute old lady until I died. And I'm not telling you this to be morbid or trauma dump or anything, but I think it's a really good demonstration of how easy it is for us to just get wrapped up in external validation and think we can survive off of that. There are essentially limitless resources for praise and compliments and other people, especially in a work and school environment. Reliance on praise is encouraged because it tells us we can work harder. We could get by on doing the bare minimum. You get paid if you just work 8 hours. You get good grades and pass if you get a C. But when you work harder, when you take that time out of your day to serve someone else, then you get that promotion, you get extra credit, you get the recommendation letter, you get to move up in the world and seek the attention of someone else who you think is successful. So maybe someday you can be successful too. On each of external validation is a product of capitalism, and it comes to the expectation that we can exert ourselves to serve people whose needs have already been met, or we push aside our own needs for a good job kid and a bonus. It doesn't get us anywhere. And it's not to say that we should always do the bare minimum, that we shouldn't improve ourselves or strive for something great. We should. Then there's always going to be people who love us. There's always going to be a source of praise and attention, and it's good for us to have that. But that can't be everything. Because if that becomes everything, then we become working obsessed fiends with no sense of personal identity. We become controlled by the opinions of other people, puppets attached to strings of everyone in our lives. With no energy to work harder, but we work harder anyway, because someday we can earn our rest back. If we fulfill one more deadline, if we get one more good grade, then maybe we can finally be ourselves and stop living as the people we want to live as. It's right around the corner. Someday we'll be our own people, just after this one deadline, after the semester ends, after I complete this one last task that someone else has asked of me and do it well. And it's true, we can take our identities back. We can regain our energy. But we can't do that if we just keep working for other people further and further without doing that while working for them. We have to do both simultaneously, or else we're not going to get anywhere, because we're not going to have our identity to take back before long. And I know a lot of people say they feel really guilty if they take time for themselves, if they're not working constantly and pushing themselves harder, and I originally feel like I should have that feeling. I never did. I always felt worried instead. I used to say it's because I didn't respect myself enough, I didn't value my time enough to feel guilty about wasting it, but I think the real reason is that I'm just worried about people not caring about me. I'm worried that if I don't work as hard, I won't be praised or respected or admired at all, and then what am I? So when I read the disciples ran to Jesus and told them what they'd done and taught, I assumed they had these same worries. I thought of them running up to him, wanting him to assure them that they'd done good enough, that they worked hard. They wanted this man that they respected and admired to respect them in return, to tell them that he felt good about something they did, so maybe they could finally feel good about themselves. They came to him with these questions. Did we do this right? Did I earn your respect? Are you proud of me? Are you proud of me? Are you proud of me? But Jesus doesn't say he's proud of them. He didn't say that they earned their respect, or that they did a good job. He gives a good response. Go rest. The disciples didn't earn rest from working hard. They don't need to rest so they can get back to working more in the future. They just did something, so now they rest. And I want to encourage you all to do the same. Go rest. Care for yourself. Love yourself. Not because you've done work that deserves praise, not because you're in a body that needs to be loved or you've done something that deserves love, but just because you can rest. Or maybe you haven't done anything and you don't want to rest. Maybe you want to go work harder. I don't know. Just do what you want. It's fulfilling to you. Get what you need for yourself, and then go out to other people and get what you need from them. What I found is that it's really easy to love other people unconditionally, to care for them regardless of whether they deserve it, to be proud of them when they haven't accomplished anything. But it's so much harder to do that for ourselves. It's so easy to validate other people, and it's not easy at all to validate us. And I wish we could just praise ourselves based off of who we are, not the things we do and what other people think of us. And I don't know if we can. We become so used to thinking of ourselves as a combination of our impact and our actions that I don't even know what else we are. And I wish I could tell you, but I can't. But maybe if we just say to ourselves, I'm proud of you and I love you, then we can know who else we can be, and we can find out. And just before I finish this, I have to acknowledge that me telling you any of this is in a sermon where I am speaking to you and I'm another person, and you're my audience, essentially, is very contradictory. And if there was a format I could give this to you, it was you all telling this to yourselves instead. I would much prefer that, but that doesn't exist. The truth is, I can't tell you whether you should rest or work hard, but you should be proud of yourself, or to love yourself the way you are, and I know other people love you. All I can say is that I hope you do. I hope whatever people say and whatever you ask them for, whether you internalize praise or find the perfect balance of internal and external reliance, you can look at yourself and say, I love you and I'm proud of you. Let's rest. Amen.